Hello my pals, I am Tarun and now I discuss with you basic concept of transaction. Now what is transaction? A transaction is a very small unit of a program and it may contain several low level tasks. Then a transaction is an agreement between a buyer and a seller to exchange goods, services or financial instruments. Then now discuss what are asset properties of transactions. A transaction in a database system must maintain like atomicity, consistency, isolation, durability, commonly known as asset property in order to ensure accuracy, completeness and data integrity. Now friends, we discuss about ACID properties in database management system. ACID: A. Atomicity, C. Consistency, I. Isolation and D. Durability. A. Atomicity: the entire transaction takes place at once or doesn't happen at all. Consistency: the database must be consistent before and after the transaction. Isolation: multiple transactions occur independently without interface. Then durability: the change of successful transaction occurs even if the system failure occurs. Now friends, we discuss the acid properties in detail. First one is atomicity. From a user perspective, a transaction is either completed and in its entirety, that is, all relevant database table are updated or not at all. If an error or interruption occurs, all changes made up to that points are backed out. Now friends, second one is consistency. What is consistency? All integrity conditions in the database are maintained with each transaction, taking the database from one consistent state into another consistent state. Then third one is isolation. Each transaction is isolated from other transactions and hence each transaction only accesses data that are part of a consistent database state. Then fourth one and last is durability. If a transaction has reported back to a user as complete, the resulting changes to the database survive subsequent hardware or software failures. Now friends, very important topic in transaction, how transaction is completed. Then transaction states. First one is transaction state in database management system are the states through which a transaction goes throughout its lifetime. Then second one is transaction states are active state, partially committed state, failed state, aborted state and terminated state. Then, my dear friends, we discuss states in detail. A transaction in a database can be in one of the following states. First one is active state. In this state, the transaction is being executed. This is the initial state of every transaction. Then second one is partially committed state. When a transaction executes its final operation, it is said to be a partially committed state. Then third one is failed state. A transaction is said to be a failed state if any of the checks made by the database recovery system fails. A failed transaction can no longer proceed further. Then fourth is aborted state. If any of the checks fails and the transaction has reached a failed state, then the recovery manager rolls back all its write operations on the database to bring the database back to its original state where it was prior to execution of the transaction. Transaction in this state are called aborted. The database recovery module can select one of the two operations after a transaction aborts. First one is restart the transaction and second one is kill the transaction. Fifth is committed state. If a transaction executes all its operations successfully, it is said to be committed. All its effects are now permanently established on the database system. Concurrency and problems in transaction. Concurrency problem occurs when multiple transactions execute concurrently in an uncontrolled manner. Second, dirty read problems, unreadable problem, lost update problem, phantom read problem are the concurrency problem in database management system. When multiple transactions execute concurrently in an uncontrolled or unrestricted manner, then it might lead to several problems. Such problems are called as concurrency problem. Concurrency problems in transaction. First is DT read problem, second is unreadable read problem, third is lost update problem, and fourth is phantom read. Then now we discuss concurrency problems in transaction with detail. First is DT read problem. Reading the data written by a uncommitted transaction is called as dirty read. Then second is unreadable read problem. This problem occur when a transaction gets to read unrepeated, that is different values of the same variable in its different read operations even when it has not updated its value. Is lost update problem. This problem occurs when multiple transactions execute concurrently and updates from one or more transaction get lost. Some variable from the buffer, and when it reads the same variable later, it finds that the variable does not exist.